strategy. So what would you say is like the first step, Sam, of
Well, I always say you lead with strategy. There's a classic quote which is, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. That always rings in my head. So there's reassessing your strategy every 12 months, but there's also like going into, just having a strategy of what you're actually wanting to achieve. Like I talk to clients every day, and it's just like, well, you're here, you want to buy a property, why? Understanding that why can really help you form an appropriate strategy that fits within your risk tolerance and helps you achieve your goals. Because everyone wants to retire or try and build that passive income to provide options. What is it? What's the goal? So let's re-engineer that and work backwards. So some people, it might be that they really enjoy their career, but they just know that just doing the standard saving and putting the super is not going to cut the mustard at the end of the day. So they want to invest in something. They understand the concept of investing and the importance of basically having an asset that produces an income for you so you don't have to work for it.
Yeah, it really is starting with the end in mind, right? And so how clear, like I guess you got to be super clear on your goals, because then you reverse engineer and you come back to your starting point of like where you're at today and the steps you need to take to get to X amount of property valuation income per year. Whether it takes, like, let's just take a standard one. Most people are wanting to get like 100 to 150k passive income from property. In what time frame is, I guess for somebody with $80,000 wage, 80 to like $100,000 wage, how realistic is that in what sort of time frame, like the average to get to like 100k? This can, I mean, it's a big subject, because that can determine your property strategy as well, because there's so many routes, which means there's so many strategies in how to get there.
And when you come into investing in property, it's a big high ticket item, and it's not a get rich quick scheme. And I was talking to someone the other day, like anything get rich quick is just fraught with high risk. I guess that's what I'm trying to understand with people is like, well, what is your risk strategy? But also outlining them to say, if the worst case scenario happens, this is what it looks like. So giving them those options. But I actually just went and I've been doing some property plans for people, and there's a common theme that keeps coming up in dealing with these clients, which is it generally sits around like a household income of around $150,000 is pretty standard. And they're wanting $100,000 to $150,000 in passive income at retirement. So what I've actually been working on is like, well, what are the key strategies to help people get to this point? And some people want a principal place of residence. Some people are happy to rent best. And to give you just quick numbers is over a 30-year time frame, if you've got those goals, if you can save $2,000 a month, you have a household income of $150,000, which that could be two people earning $75,000 a year, which is the median wage in Australia. And then you're starting from scratch, but you've got $100,000 in cash. It can take you pretty much $100,000. You can get to that $150,000 target within 30 years, and that's just an organic growth strategy of buying a property, in year one, and then buying another property in 3 years' time, and then another residential in another 3 years' time.
So 30 years though to get there. Most people don't have that attention span, especially me.
This is the simple.
So that's the most basic route if you're just doing it without manufacturing growth as fast as you can. I guess.
And that's just in Australia the median house growth period runs between 6 to 7%, 6 to 8% per annum. Compounding effect, the rule of 72 gives you that. If it's growing at 7.2% per annum, then it doubles every 10 years. Yeah, obviously we want to try and outperform that market, but I run my growth rates around that 6 or 7% annual growth. I like to be conservative. So the whole point of the exercise was to paint this really simple picture: is if you've got $100,000 in cash, you can actually just invest in residential, like a mix, either residential and commercial, or just residential. Um, if you're going down just the residential path, you're not going to hit that income target, but you're going
That's
to
fast.
no, definitely not. But
Yeah.
you're going to hit you're going to have high capital value because residential grows in general faster than your commercial. So the purpose of the exercise that I do to clients is to show that you don't have to do a lot. You can keep a really simple life. You can just go and enjoy what it actually is that lights you up. You don't need to be this active investor that's going to, shoot the lights out. It's just buy 3 to 4 residential properties and go into a commercial property in 20 years time once you've got that equity, and it's using that $100,000 today that you've saved up. Well done. And that's all the real cash injections that you're putting into it. Obviously, you're saving that $2,000 a month, but that's $500 a week. For most households, they can afford that. But it's providing them a lot of options, and it's not stressing themselves out. So it's people. I know for yourself, you're quite aggressive, but your income streams can suffice a different strategy because and also your risk tolerances too, because you're young, youngish.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, I don't know. I feel like we look pretty young. Maybe
We are young. We're in our 30s, dude.
mid-30s, champ. Far out.
That's young.
I know. I didn't think I'd have kids until I was in the 40s, but now
We're chatting about that. You've changed a lot in 5 years.
yes.
For the better too.
Yeah.
For the better.
Oh, it's all about growth. Definitely.
Yeah.
You reflect on who you used to be, and got me to who I am today. But
yeah,
there's definitely parts of me that I was like, oh yeah, could have said that better or done that better.
yeah, but you're only human.
Yes, we are.
So, 30 years to get to like that 150k, and that's just going along and just sort of cruise, and you've saved up your 100k, and you can get there in 30 years by just one cash injection of 100k.
Yep.
By buying a couple of resis and then chucking some commercial in there after, say, property 4, 3 or 4, right?
Yep, and that's buy and hold strategies too. So you're not manufacturing any equity, you're not doing alternative strategies,